September 4th, 1944. The Allies liberate the last of Belgium and halt their advance in Antwerp. 3 months and 450 miles have passed since the Normandy landings on June 6th. Throughout Holland, Axis troops retreat in an uncontrolled dash toward the German border. In Germany, Field Marshal von Rundstedt surmises that the Allies have stopped in Antwerp due to short supplies. Taking advantage of the lull, von Rundstedt quickly reorganizes the scattered German troops into a fighting force. On September 14, Allied Supreme Commander General Eisenhower agrees to British Field Marshal Montgomery's plan, Operation Market Garden. If executed properly, this two-pronged assault could bring an end to the war before Christmas. September 17, the largest airborne assault in history, Operation Market Garden, begins. British 30 Corps starts the long drive to the Rhine, while U.S. and British airborne troops secure the road and bridges along the route. For Market Garden to be successful, the Allies must secure every bridge along the 64-mile corridor. But will that final bridge across the lower Rhine prove to be a bridge too far?
Hello and welcome to a playthrough of Close Combat Last Stand Arnhem, which is kind of a modern re-envisioning of the Close Combat 2, a bridge too far game, which was my introduction personally to the Close Combat series when that came out back in the days. Either way, my options are team info icon display set to show health, soldier outlines display set to show cover, all monitors turned on, and game speed, scroll speed set to fast, and soldiers will be speaking their native languages. We'll be going through this with the Allies on the Grand Campaign, Operation Market Garden itself, and going for Elite difficulty, which is the hardest one. I'm not sure if this has any effect when you change the enemy here, but I think it might have on like how many units they have available for themselves. So gonna put them on recruit, just because that might increase the challenge. Either way, realism rating 100%. We're not gonna mess around with anything here. We'll have the battle end criteria set to be when time expires in 30 minutes. I think that's okay for YouTube, so games don't go for longer than 30 minutes. Rarely will they go for 30 minutes though. And also 2-minute warning after taking all victory locations for either team that has lost all victory locations. And we're not going to be activating when force morale gets too low. Personally, I think this is like stupid. Like, why is this even in the game? I remember I played through this game one time and I forgot to check this off, and it was so... The whole playthrough was just a different experience. Like, everything just took forever. It's like when you're about to win a map, you're pushing the enemy off it, but then the morale drops too low. Like, you're winning, but the enemy that you're crushing lose morale, so you get a draw. What? That's not how war works. So if you see like any good reasonable use for this, let me know in comments or something. Personally, I think this is stupid as hell. Like, I mean, it's good, I guess, if you're losing and you're like severely like materially outnumbered or outstrengthed by the enemy, because then you can kind of hold a position that you would lose immediately. You can hold that for like 7-8 freaking turns. Because just as soon as your morale gets too low, then you just get a draw, which is freaking ridiculous. So we're not going to be going for that. But either way, moving on here. We're going to call this, let's just call it YA1 for YouTube Allies 1. And yeah, there's going to be a movie coming up here, so enjoy.
September 17, 1944. Your paratroops land simultaneously in 3 sectors: Eindhoven, Nijmegen, and Arnhem. Over the next 2 days, you must take and hold key roads and river crossings between Eindhoven and Arnhem Bridge. At 1700 hours, the massive column of British 30 Corps breaks through the German lines and heads north into Holland. They expect the roads and bridges to be secured before their arrival, but will lend assistance if necessary. Though German resistance is expected to be light, speed is essential. Securing the bridges along the route is your highest priority. If you succeed, 30 Corps will punch a hole into the German heartland, and the war in Europe could soon be over.
Wouldn't that be nice? Either way, we're not going to be reading this. So basically, we have this strategic map here, where we'll be moving our various, well, what do you call this, battle groups around. For instance, here we can start moving these guys that are not occupied in combat or meeting any enemies. We can move them east and start kind of securing a little bit of these areas here. Try to take some supply depots and whatnot. Even if we take these away from the Germans, I'm not sure if that actually means that there won't be any additional reinforcements from the Germans coming in here. I think it will, even though we capture it, because it's kind of coming in from off the map. But yeah, I mean, we'll get to these things and figure them out as we go along. It's been a few years since I played this game last, so yeah, I'm not 100%. I'm a bit rusty on how this specific close combat game works, but it's a good game. So we have airstrike here, and we have artillery strike, and we're gonna have to dump the artillery strike onto these guys. I think they're the only ones that can actually have it due to the artillery's positioning on the map. It's probably around here somewhere. So, like, artillery obviously has a little bit limited reach. And I already have recorded this playthrough, like 4 episodes. Then I realized that I recorded with the wrong recording program, and that resulted in a bit of user interface graphical glitching. Also, I wasn't too happy with the audio, and I'm hoping that's going to be better this time. So I'm redoing this so that the quality will be better. I should have probably started with saying that, but okay, I said it now, so there you have it. We're going to move every unit that isn't occupied in combat, just heading up north towards the Arnhem area, just so we can get more units up here, which is kind of like the objective zone for this campaign, Operation Market Garden. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of units here. Like, we have these German defensive units here called Bodenständige Einheit, or Bodenständige Einheit. I mean, my German isn't perfect, and I'm not sure what that means. I'm assuming some kind of like place-specific local defense kind of thing. I'm not sure, but they are basically all these BOs that you see around here. They're stationary on the map that they have been assigned to, and they do not move around, as opposed to these Kampfgruppen, or battle groups that the Germans have here, like Spindler, for instance. They can move around the map. These square or rectangular boxes will move around the map, and these oval shapes here will not. That being said, let's put a few more airstrikes in. I want an airstrike here, and on this map, and I want an airstrike with these guys going in to attack Arnhem here, because we kind of want to try to secure this bridge in Arnhem as soon as possible. Historically, they secured it and held it. I'm not sure we can do that though, because if we look at the defenders here, they have 7 squads of things, different stuff. A bit of machine guns and 2cm flak cannons and such. We have a very limited force to go and take this with, so there's a good chance we won't be able to do that, because we won't be able to field enough units to kind of overpower the enemy quickly before they can blow the bridge up. But, you know, literally we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Now, each turn here goes for like 3 hours, so you go one turn, it's like 1500, 1800, and then apparently after that it's 6 hours after 1800, so it goes to midnight. You get like a nighttime engagement, and then it's 6 in the morning again, and then it's 3-hour intervals. So yeah, we're starting out here 3 o'clock on the 17th of some day, some month. Yeah, but either way, I think we're good to move on here to the first battle. Now there's going to be quite a few battles in this first turn, so quite a few episodes will be the first turn here until we can start clearing out these Bodenständige Einheits from the various maps where they are. And yeah, so our main objective is to take the bridges. If we can secure the bridges, that's great, because that's gonna make it easier for us to actually get to Arnhem. Yeah. Well, so we took a little bit of terrain around various areas. These guys are now here in Arnhem. And if we click next, we get the first fight here, which would be the Irish Guards Armored Group against these Bodenständige Defenders dudes. So let's get to it. Right, and here's the thing with this game, or like modern close combat games, that I'm not necessarily a huge fan of personally. And that is that you can edit the opponent's composition. You can't on these, like, it has to be a battle group. Like, these are like already specific, this is what's gonna be here. So that's already decided. You'll have an easy, like on easier difficulties, you won't be facing like the Stug 3G here or whatever. But another thing is, I mean, you can abuse this, right? You can make it very easy for yourself, or you can make it very hard for yourself. It just kind of depends on how you want to do it. Or you can just leave it as is. And we'll see. We'll probably do a little bit of a mix of it. I want to keep the challenge realistic. Like, if I'm going in with a full infantry force, and the enemy has a lot of anti-tank stuff, I'm just going to remove that anti-tank stuff from them and just replace it with infantry instead, because anti-tank stuff against infantry would be pretty useless. So, just to up the challenge a little bit there and kind of balance it out. So we'll kind of see how we do it. But the thing is, I'll be deciding what the enemy feels in the battle. And that's kind of silly, I would say. I don't know. I wish you could, like, I mean, you can obviously select not to do it, but it's there, it's right there. You just literally click a button and then you can do it, so it's kind of hard not to, I suppose. What we're going to do is just remove everything here, and I'm going to set up with a command showman, 2 regular showmans, and 2 showman fireflies. Now, if you look in the list here, you got these numbers here representing the point cost for one of these units. And on the right hand side here, you got how many of these you have available in this specific battle group's force pool. You also have battle group points and formation points here. Battle group is this battle group formation. I'm not 100% sure. Someone explained this to me. I gotta be honest, I still don't fully understand it, so yeah, it is how it is. I pretty much have a standard setup that I go with when I play on this map, which is this: 4 brand groups, 2 platoon HQ, 2 showman 5s, a command showman, and 2 showman fireflies with a Vickers medium machine gun support team. Now the thing is, these showmen here have a 75mm gun, and it isn't the best against armor. The showman fireflies, however, have a 17-pounder British gun, and is quite a bit more effective against armored targets. So I want to bring both of those just so we can more easily deal with the Stug should we encounter it, and we will encounter it. So yeah. But without further ado, let's get to it. Now, the scroll speed is a bit slow for being fast. I'm coming off having played Close Combat 3, and I mean, you touch the edge of the screen, you teleport to the other side of the map there, basically. So, you know, either it's a plus and minus with either way of those scrolls, or well, with either of those scroll speeds, basically. But yeah, I'm gonna set up the Showman Fireflies here, and I'm not sure if I mentioned that already, but I already recorded the first 4 episodes of this, but I had to redo them due to some graphical glitches when I looked through it on YouTube. So I'm pretty much just doing a rinse and repeat of what I did last time, and last time we just had 2 guys injured and no casualties, I believe. Oh no, we took some casualties because I made some stupid plays, but it's whatever. So basically the thing is, you can draw like a diagonal or like a, you know, a line, draw a line here basically, and north of that line is where the enemy will usually put most of his units. Not always. Sometimes they can put the Stug, for instance, here, or anti-tankers. So you gotta be on your guard. They can be anywhere along this whole line here, but typically the AI is gonna deploy more heavily in the city. Typically. But you never know. So you can't like assume that. It could bite you in the ass if you do. Anyway, we're gonna put the platoon HQ here on ambush together with a Bren group on ambush, because if there's enemy infantry here immediately, then I don't necessarily want these guys to start shooting and giving away their position. And well, it's the medium machine gun team. It is there, so we're gonna put this in this building here and have it ready to kind of cover out from here. It can't really cover that well, but it's good enough. Yeah, we'll put a platoon HQ here, have it sneak up to the wall, so it actually has a little bit of cover from it. And we'll have a Bren group here sneak over to the wall there, and this Bren group here sneak over to the wall there. And that's about it. Let's just begin and hope for the best. Oh, there you go. As I said. Okay, well, that's very nice. That's very nice. Enemy Stug 3 is eliminated immediately. They, just straight off the bat, they took an enormous hit to morale. I don't think they have anti-tank units, so we're gonna start pushing our advantage. As I said, sometimes they deploy a lot of units just straight up front though. We're seeing a lot of infantry. We need to just kind of get on their ass ASAP here, I think. We're just gonna chase in after them with our armor. And I hope that's not a trap. Not the best place for them to deploy this, but I mean, it's rude to interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake, so we're not gonna be doing that. We're just gonna push past these guys. They do have Panzerfausts, I believe, but they're pretty pinned by these Fireflies. In fact, let's just put this Firefly to exclusively shoot at them. They dug a little trench here, but they're now leaving it and trying to run away. It's a Fallschirmjäger MG team, I believe I saw it was. So we're actually doing serious damage to the enemy straight off the bat. I'm just gonna keep pushing in here with this. They want a ceasefire, and I'm thinking they can't forget about it. Now we're just gonna chase down the fleeing enemies with our armor here. And it looks like it might be safe enough to move up infantry as well right now. So we're just gonna have the infantry move along here, and this is a very easy start actually. And we got lucky. It could have gone either way with that Stug 3. We could have taken casualties on it, but luckily we didn't. There's another infantry team right there. Okay, this MG infantry has surrendered, and then we have something lurking around there. It could be an anti-tank team, I'm not sure. Let's try to get 2 tanks on that. I think we could see what it was there. No, we couldn't. Never mind. Okay, we're just going to put serious pressure on that. And we're going to move in these guys there as well. To over here, I think we'll be fine. Could be risky with infantry being around right now to move them in, but we have a lot of tanks supporting their tanks, so we should be fine. The AI really made this one quite easy. Okay, that's the we've taken out the Fallschirmjäger MG team, and we've also taken out the command troop and the Stug 3 troop. That's a good start, not gonna lie. Alright, well, either way, we're gonna keep advancing. So I'll move this Sherman over here. Oh, I thought I told this guy to move further, but okay, we can move further now, it's fine. We'll move the Firefly over here as well, I think, and this Firefly is going to take point here in front of the command Sherman. As I want the Fireflies to kind of be leading the... No, that's actually not... I'm still stuck in the mindset of we need to be worrying about the Stug 3, but we don't anymore, actually. So we don't really need the Fireflies to take too much of a risk. And we can save them. It's better to lose a Sherman 5 than a Firefly, I would say. And right here we're gonna have these guys just kinda, if I could select them correctly, huh? Move fast towards this bridge, cross the bridge, get into this building. Basically. Like this. Just changing the waypoints up a bit so they actually are correct. And once the infantry is kinda checked out the area over here, then we can move our tanks in. I just don't want our tanks to go in blind. So it's better to lose an infantry team than it is to lose a tank team, or a tank. But if we're lucky, we can maybe do this without any casualties. They still have, I know, anti-tank team, a machine gun team, and 2 anti-tank guns. I know they have at least that. They might have more, but at least they have that. So the Vickers medium machine gun team, we can move that further up here. Turn this Firefly a little bit, so it's just ready to go straight forward immediately.
Area secured.
Alright, well, I mean, we're making slow but steady progress. Once these tanks are a little bit more positioned here, we can actually, I think we just start moving this little cluster of infantry in here. I'm just trying to kind of coordinate the maneuver so that they can overlap with angles and cover each other. Should one team get into trouble, then he can get some support. Or they can get some support from another team. Hopefully, as we move up along here. I think we'll just move the command Sherman in here and the Firefly behind it and not go too far, because there's quite often Oh.
In position.
Okay, we're not gonna move these tanks in here at all then. They have a anti-tank gun in the open field over there. So I'm not gonna move in these tanks either any further right now. We can maybe get some of our infantry on that. I'm hoping anyway.
Redeployed.
What do we have here? There's an anti-tank team right there, I think it is.
In position.
Okay, so it's a good thing we didn't move in too soon with our tanks though, because there was some anti-tank ambush. So hopefully we can inflict some damage on the enemy here. We're gonna move the medium machine gun team up into this windmill here. Let's see, that's a very, very bad place to put that gun. The AI really made it easy for me this time. I gotta tell you, this is about as easy as it can get. But until we can inflict some casualties on those guys. Actually, we have artillery strikes. Might as well use them, I guess. Eh, why not? Because as soon as that thing goes down, then we can start moving some units in. We hit something. Oh yeah, we hit the gun with the artillery strike. That is, the odds of that happening are actually quite low. So this has been quite lucky for ourselves so far. Yeah, I mean, this is an anti-tank team, so we'll just let our infantry give them hell. In fact, we can give them all a direct fire order, so they will just pour more bullets into that. And there's still one anti-tank gun we need to watch out for. I'm gonna send Sherman in here, Firefly over there, and this Sherman over here as well. Then, okay, that's just a gun crew trying to run away. We'll move the command Sherman in a little bit. They have... Is it Panzerfaust 30s these guys have? Because the number after the Panzerfaust kind of signifies like the effective or indicates the effective range of the Panzerfaust. I'm gonna move one Bren group over to this corner here. I'm gonna keep this Bren and Platoon HQ group here. Not gonna move these tanks any further just yet. The thing is, we can probably just charge these guys. There's one guy left. I think that's all there is. Alright, put the Wickers over here to defend. And as we advance with our tanks, we're going to advance up with 3 tanks. And I think we're going to have to kind of push through here. Because if you go in this area, you're going to be stuck. Oh, there is... Did we lose people here now? Holy shit. That one guy nearly took out the entire platoon HQ team. There's another infantry squad over there. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Okay, the Bren team is shots in the pack. Yeah, there's an infantry team there. We need... Okay, there's a MG team over there somewhere. We might be able to move our tanks into the force to get shots in the infantry and still have them not take shots from that pack. We cannot push these tanks any further just yet though. That pack needs to be dealt with. Okay, yeah, that's an MG42 team. Yeah, it's quite terrible for us actually. We might lose this platoon commander right there. We got the... yeah. There goes Platoon HQ. I did really not expect that. They're abandoning the gun. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, well, if they're abandoning the gun, then we're just gonna move our tanks in here. That, honestly, what the hell can they even have left? The morale is zero. We could have not lost that command team there. That's my bad. But right now we can just push these tanks through the forest there, and that should be good enough. We get up on the MG42 team here, take it out. Guess we just have to take that loss there. It's unfortunate. This one guy that was defending in this trench here just kind of threw a grenade, and I think he took out 3 guys with that grenade out of 4, so that was a pretty damn good grenade. What are you gonna do? But honestly, I think like this is all they have left. Like these guys here, and the gun crew is running away. And we're just gonna wipe these guys out with our tanks real quick, so that should be good at least. We'll just have the Sherman Firefly and defend while I move the command Sherman in here. So it just kind of keeps them pinned down. case they have any anti-tank capabilities. And we'll just rush these guys past here, I think. We can just go here with the Sherman 5. Let's see what kind of path it takes. At this point it doesn't really matter, we've already won, we just need to kind of kill the last units, I guess. Because they're gonna fight to the last man, it seems. The force morale is 0, so that they haven't surrendered yet. It's probably only because of Bodenständige Einheits. Alright, they surrendered, and there we go. Okay, so all in all, it could be better, right? We had 1 guy killed and 4 guys incapacitated. We lost a platoon HQ, which is somewhat significant and a little bit shit, but what can you do? It's not that significant. It could have been worse. Like, you know, it could have been better, but it could also have been worse. So I'd say, yeah, let's just be happy with this result here. And I hope you enjoyed watching the episode. If you did, I would appreciate if you would consider leaving a like on it and maybe even subscribing to my channel for future content. I'm planning on playing through quite a few close combat games and other World War II strategy games, and well, quite a lot of other types of games too over the years. My channel is only like 2 or 3 months old, so yeah, I need some time to get there, basically. Either way, yeah, you can catch me in the next one, so have a good one.